and that we debate it out, have good, vigorous debates, have a good fight over policy. That's good for democracy.
Hey you all, welcome back to Pearls of Eden, and we are going to jump into current news. We are going to talk about the latest headlines, which is why Black men in Martin Luther King's hometown have decided they're not for Kamala, and you're not going to be able to lecture them into voting for him. Let's take a look at what the brothers have to say.
So I want you guys to think about the last couple of weeks and the attacks that have been aimed at black men. Now watch this. Not from white folk, but from other black men. We got Magic Johnson, a black man, saying that black men should vote for Harris because that's the only acceptable choice. This is a man who has a black son who thinks he's a woman. Then we have the 44th president of the United States coming out and saying that black men voting for Trump is unacceptable. He has the nerve to look in the eyes of black men who are out here working their off, grinding, taking care of their families, mature, responsible men, spiritually mature men, handling their business. This man that is worth, some estimates say, of $75 million has then the audacity to tell these same black men that it is unacceptable for you to vote any other way than what I tell you. I'm just starting to think now, like seriously, like this is all a game. Like this can't be serious, y'all. We're like in some twilight zone where we're just not, like this ain't even real anymore. It's to the point to where it's become redundant and just useless to talk about. It's amazing to me how dumb and just how gullible that they think that we are. And the sad part is that many are just like that. It's really frustrating. Now, if a white man came out and told a black man that it's unacceptable for him to vote a certain way, black folks would be all up in arms. All up in arms. You can't tell me that. I'm a grown... But then we allow another black man to come out and tell another black man, a grown black man on top of that he can't do what he so desires. Like, this is just... Listen, let me just say it like this. If there was a black man that was on the Republican side that was running for president, black folks still wouldn't vote for him. Black folks in a recent poll said that they wouldn't even vote for Condi Rice. Condi. They wouldn't even vote for her. They would vote for Harris over Condi. Can you believe that? Black folks said that they vote for Harris over Condi. What? Like, this stuff is just becoming ridiculous, y'all. It's just becoming ridiculous. It's just becoming ridiculous. It's just ridiculous.
Ridiculous doesn't even begin to explain the mockery, the gaslighting, the perversion, the diabolicalism, if that's a word, that the Democrat Party will go to no ends to get what they desire. Then they bring out Usher. Yeah, you know, you got it bad, Usher, Diddy's Usher. He's got enough problems on his own. He got 99 problems, but I guess Kamala is on one of them because she ushers him on out, or as she calls him, Usher.
And of course, Usher. Got you.
And she just cracked herself up. She thought she told the best ha ha ha, okay? They usher on out there, right? And he does his song and dance after giving an interview on The View about how he believes it's important for everybody to come to their own decision.
So you're supporting Kamala Harris in this election, I understand.
Yes.
Well, good for you. After the assault on the old guy last night, do you feel sorry for him or at all?
You know what? I feel sorry that I didn't get a chance to watch it. I was actually performing at Barclays and felt a little irresponsible to have 14 people's undivided attention on something that they really should have been focusing on, which was the debate. I mean, it's been a lot of talk this morning, huh?
But you know, Taylor Swift has now endorsed Kamala Harris.
Yes.
And she was very, I thought, very smart the way she did it. It was like, you do your research and you decide for yourselves, but I a single cat woman, as she points going, I am voting for Kamala. Do you think, I always say that in this emergency that we're in, I think that it behooves artists to come out and speak for Kamala against Donald Trump, because he is an existential threat to the country. What do you say to that?
You know what? I don't get too deep into politics. I didn't get a chance to watch the debate last night. I obviously have been watching like everybody else. I think voting is an individual choice. And I think that you're right. You have to look at the reality of the country that we are and the country that we want to be, and find the candidate that you feel both are who fits the category of where we want to be. And that's it. And that's what you vote based off of. Who you highlight and how you choose to highlight it on whatever platform you have is your prerogative.
Yes.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And yet, he comes out on the stage because I guess they got a lot on him, okay? They probably got a lot of pictures, a lot of video. They got a lot on Usher. So, what does he do? The song and dance. But it's not gonna keep you from being exposed, Usher. But let's watch.
I love you more, but I love Kamala Harris even more. I want her to be our next president of the United States. And we can do it, but we're gonna do it together.
Nothing says puppet master than someone pulling your strings, and on demand, now you're suddenly at the Kamala Harris rallies doing songs and dances, all for her benefit. And you can tell that it's forced. This is not an authentic type of reaction or response. He's there on demand because they've got so much dirt on him, just like they had on Puffy, that, hey, you do what your handlers tell you to do.
One more time. We ready. What? Come on, Georgia. What? One more time. We. Hey. Thank you so much. Vote early. Let's do this. Thank you.
Cringe alert.
In the club, we all fam. In the club, we are all family.
So let's get into the article. Why black men in Martin Luther King's hometown won't vote for Kamala Harris. The Democratic candidate is struggling to win the support of African Americans who feel she is prioritizing identity over policy. And let's keep it a buck, she is. She wants you to identify with her blackness, when in actuality, she is Irish and Hindu Indian. She's not even black whatsoever, but that's the hill that she's willing to die on, right? But the gig is up. People are like, we're not going to just go for your black woman or an Indian woman or a person of color, so therefore you should automatically get my vote. No, we want to know, what is your vision? What are your policies? How are you going to benefit my community, the people of America? See, the people, especially African Americans, they got bamboozled with Obama. And a lot of people are like, never, ever again. But let's keep reading. The race for the White House is being fiercely contested in Atlanta's barbershops amid the bustle of these busy makeshift public squares in a city known as bulwark of Democratic support. There are warning signs for Kamala Harris, nowhere more so than in Atlanta's West Side, perhaps best remembered as a one-time meeting point for Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and other civil rights icons. Between cuts and shaves, Barbara Umer Thames explains that he is preparing to cast a ballot for Donald Trump for the first time. The 48-year-old was once a supporter of Barack Obama, but says Democrats can no longer take his vote for granted. Ms. Harris and her historic candidacy have done little to sway him. She's playing on the fact that she's black, and we're black, he says of the U.S. Vice President, accusing her of prioritizing identity over policy. For him, the White House race is not about color, but the flow of business into his swivel chair. Its current occupant, Lawrence Gate, listens attentively as his barber pulls an apron over him and debates the merits of Trump's third White House bid. Mr. Gates is not a fan of Ms. Harris either, but as an employee of the Federal Bureau of Prisons, he says he cannot countenance voting for a convicted felon. We have got to have checks and balances in our system, Mr. Gates said, arguing Trump's actions disqualified him from the highest office. I think he should have been charged with murder for what he pulled on January 6th. He added in reference to the 2021 Capitol riots, Trump could still face election interference charges in Georgia. Both the barber and his patron are part of the demographic that may hold the key to winning this swing state and possibly the White House, as black voters comprise a third of Georgia's electorate. Joe Biden's strong appeal to the group in 2020 helped him paint the southern state blue for the first time since Bill Clinton in 1992. His victory hinged on the smallest of margins, just 11,779 votes, and the support of almost 90% of black voters. But with just over 2 weeks until the election, polls show Ms. Harris has lost ground with the critical constituency and young black men in particular. A recent Cigna College NYT poll found Trump's support among black men has grown around 5 points since 2020, a small but significant figure in a close race. A second survey by Howard University of black voters across battleground states found more than a fifth of black men under 50 said they plan to support Trump. Now, you all can read the rest of that article, but that is huge. Black men are not supporting Kamala Harris, and the stunt that they pulled with Barack Obama just further gave more support to those who were on the edge to cast their vote for Trump. So you all should check this article out. I will link it in the description box so you can read the full article for yourself, because it is very interesting, quite fascinating. And yeah, Donald Trump is going all across barbershops in the state of Georgia, speaking to black men and Latinos. And I'm just gonna let you take a look for yourself about what the conversation looks like. Take a look.
Nice to see you all.
Welcome. It's our pleasure.
How good are the barbers here?
Excellent.
Very good. I can see they're good. They look nice soft floor. What's that all about?
That's all the back.
It is a soft floor.
The back.
Nice to see you all. Big hands. Strong guy. Nice to see you. So you're the owner?
My son is the owner. He owns his father.
Oh, you did that very nice and easy, huh? Is he as good as you?
It's great.
Good. Nice to see you. Thank you very much. Do their job.
So when you were president, I know for a fact I was able to do three things. I was able to see money, save money, spend money.
Right.
Now in the past almost 4 years now, I'm losing my business basically. The
Are you
money's
losing
just
it?
not there.
It's your
It's
business?
my business. I started it for the past 10 years, and the only time I knew I made it was when you were in office, so I can speak for myself.
Right.
And the thing is, it's like, I don't know what more to do. How can we make the economy come back?
Well, Donald Trump isn't the only one that's going across the good old US of A doing tours with the American people and town halls. Well, Kamala Harris says she's busy too. And she's got another wonderful person on deck with her on her super team, Liz Cheney. Take a listen to their town hall.
I've now, as vice president, met over 150 world leaders, presidents, prime ministers, chancellors, and kings. Many of them multiple times, to the point where on a first-name basis. And the last few times that I've seen them in the relative eve of this election, they are very concerned, our allies. Because, as you know, when we walk in those rooms around the world representing the United States of America, we have traditionally been able to walk in those rooms, chin up, shoulders back, with the self-appointed and earned authority to talk about the importance of democracy and rule of law. But as all the role models here know, as a role model, people watch what you do.
We're not even gonna talk about the role model part and people watch what you do, because like that's a Pandora's box. Nope, we're not gonna do that.
To see if it lines up with what you say. People around the world are watching this. And I tell you, sometimes I do fret a bit about whether we as Americans truly understand how important we are to the world.
Just fascinating, don't you think? I mean, what was she even talking about, you all? Liz Cheney herself is looking at her much as Oprah looked at her, like, oh my gosh, we're in for a ride. Anyone that listens to her that has half a brain cell, I'll give you half a brain cell. By the time you listen to her, you've already summed up what she's about. There is no one that has any type of intellect, and I mean any type, that would cast their vote for this woman. It is suicide to a nation. Who in their ever-loving mind would vote for this? And this is why you cannot convince intelligent Black men that this is who they should vote for. They're not buying it. Any other woman but Kamala. As the man mentioned earlier in the video, if this was Condoleezza Rice, game on. But this is not a Condoleezza Rice. This is not a Tulsi Gabbard. This right here is a hot train express that we cannot afford in our state to take a gamble nor a chance on. So I'm sorry, Kamala. You are fired. Fired.
I'm a registered Democrat. I voted for you the first time, voted for you the second time. Thank you. And I'm going to vote for you again. You better. So